It takes a lot of faith to trust the local bus service to be on time, whereas it takes the faith the size of a mustard seed to trust our Lord to be on time when we need Him. Top of the morning to you. So, when reading Psalm 40 with the eyes of love and trying to understand God and His nature, we see how God is all about being constantly on standby, ready to help us in time of need. He hears our cry for help and is willing and able to rescue us out of the pit we find ourselves in, either because it was a trap placed by our enemy or the result of us going against God's plan for our lives. Whatever the reason or cause for our problems, we are told we can trust and take refuge in our Lord. He will bless us, verse 4. The psalmist assures us there are many examples of God's wonderful works, in fact, too many to speak of. The key to success is hearing and obeying God by doing His will because we love doing it, not just out of religious purposes or out of duty. Verse 8 says, God's law is in our hearts when this happens. Our natural response to God's goodness and His ways is to tell others when we meet together in verse 9, called the Great Assembly or the church. We are not to keep God's love and truth secret, so others can be encouraged by seeing how God drives away our enemies who try to hurt us by surprising us with evil. This way we give God all the glory, publicly, constantly saying in verse 16, the Lord be magnified. Just stay humble and wait for God's thoughts and plans to take hold, knowing He is our help and deliverer who has no problem with us asking Him to come quickly. Verse 17. Our job then is explained in verse 1 as waiting patiently and expectantly. Now, word of encouragement today is we seem to have no problem waiting patiently and expectantly on man-made things like the bus transportation system, for example. You see people waiting all the time at bus stops, expecting the bus to be on schedule, to give them a ride. We are willing to do whatever it takes to get to that bus stop a little ahead of time so that we can catch the bus. How much more can we put ourselves in position to wait patiently, expectantly for our Lord to show up when we need Him? After all, we have this promise in Psalm 145:13. The Lord is trustworthy in all He promises and faithful in all He does. Have a great day.